everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 6, Episode 38. DJI Mini 4 Pro release date announced. How is everyone doing this evening? A little bit of a different setup here. I have two new monitors. They are HP 4K, 31.5 inches. They're perfect. They're absolutely perfect. Coming to you off of my 13.5-inch HP Spectre laptop. The new one's on order. It should probably be here next week. So that's where that is. Let's welcome everybody. Got a good crew in here already, and let's go here. Akarajo's here. Drone Shots is here. Waypoint New England. Let's see who else. John K is here. Who else we got? The Hexter. Lauren is here. Welcome, Lauren. Let's see who else. Richard is here. Welcome, Richard. Jones Hughes Media. Flying Plane Media. Welcome, John. Let's see who else. We got Casey Crime Fighter. Welcome, my friend. Johnny is in the house. Welcome, Johnny. Let's see who else here. Who we got coming down through here. Fly Guy Merrill is here. Casey Crime Fighter. Let's see who else. Mad Props Media. Welcome. The Hexter, USA Drone Flyer. Captain Joe America is here. Mr. Bob Dempsey is here. Welcome, Bob. Henry Mills. Captain Ray Kelly is here. Scott Nadeau. All right, we got a good house here this evening. Got a full crew. Got a lot to talk about tonight. And I'm going to lead off with an incredible story here, and it has absolutely nothing to do with drones. But so let's go ahead and kind of get started with it. And I'm calling this the pause that saved my life. Where we live, I live near a very large retirement community called Sun City Center, and if you look that up, it was a planned community built in the 60s. A lot of golf carts around there, and you can actually cross the main highway there by golf cart. They will let you do that. And they have they built what's called feeder roads. And if you know what I'm talking about with feeder roads, there are roads that are on the side, okay, that lead up to the main road, and they have the intersections every so often for you to be able to cross, and that's where golf carts can cross. They can cross at those intersections. They can't go on the main drag there. It's about a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, but they can cross the highway there, okay? Well, I was running an errand the other day, and when I was coming back from that shopping center where I was running my errand, usually I take a route that I can make a right and pull onto that road, and then I have to make, at the first light, I make a U-turn, which is legal here, okay? Usually traffic is really bad there. So what I decided to do was take that feeder road down to where the first light is. And then it's a very short, there's only room for like one or two cars at most. And usually there's somebody there. Well, it happened to be, I was the first one there. Now, this was around lunchtime last week. And the light turned green. Now, let me back this up here a second. One of the things I want to share with you guys is my dad taught me to drive defensively, okay? And he taught me a lot of things. And one of the things that he drilled into me in a good way was, as soon as that light turns green, pause. Some 5, sometimes 10 seconds, okay? I paused for 5 seconds before I hit the gas. Coming through the intersection, through a red light at about 50 miles an hour or more, was this older lady in a maroon Honda Civic right through there. I was kind of curious to take a look and see, so I made a right instead of going through the light and making a left, and I wanted to take a look and see who it was. She was totally oblivious. She had no clue that she went through a red light, all right? And I'm going to guess she's probably late 70s, maybe early 80s. And one of the things that I'm in favor of is every year when you turn a certain age, I think you should get your eyes tested before you can, get your driver's license. I think that should be automatic here, because I think either, she may have had cognitive issues, or her eyesight may be such that she just didn't see the light. And I can tell you, folks, she would have hit me broadside right in the driver's door, and I would have been seriously injured or killed. So, yeah, that's why I'm very fortunate, and I'm going to use the word blessed. I am very blessed the good Lord was watching over me. And let me tell you, I was shaking like a leaf the rest of the day. And one of the things I decided to do was my lease is up next year on my Highlander. And what I decided to do was I'm going to buy an M1 Abrams tank. You can laugh now. Okay. That was a joke. Okay. All right. And Terry, I did see your question here. We'll get to that here in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and get a Toyota Tundra, and I realize I won't be able to park it in the garage. It's a big vehicle, but I'm at the point, and Valerie and I agreed. I want to be protected. I want Valerie to be protected when we're driving. If you guys know anything about driving in the state of Florida, Casey Crime Fighter, that you keep on doing that, my friend. Okay, you will live a long life. You keep doing that. That's fantastic. Florida, the number one problem in the state of Florida isn't. I'm going to say this: it's not hurricanes, it's not gators, it's not snakes, it's not our high temperatures. Okay, and crazy weather. Okay, it's aggressive drivers. All right. We live by a 6-lane state highway, okay? And some people refer to it as Mad Max Thunderdome out there. And with good reason. We have, where we live, the highway planners here are just, they plan a lot of left turns, okay? And for example, when you pull out onto the 3-lane highway, the very first intersection, there's a road down there. It's not really an intersection. People can cut across the 3 lanes and then pull on and go in the other direction. And there was one Saturday, we checked the map and there was an accident there. And we happened to see the aftermath of the accident, and we found out it was a fatal accident. An older gentleman tried to cross the road. He was in his 90s. In a pickup truck. He was hit by a Dodge Challenger going at about 85 plus miles an hour. He did not survive. And there was pretty much nothing left. He had an older pickup truck. There was nothing left of it. And that's why I'm getting a Toyota Tundra. I've already put a deposit down on one. It should be here in December, and it can't come a day too soon as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah. So, yeah, get a pink tank. Yeah, John. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay. All right. Enough of that. Okay. But I just want to say I'm very thankful. And my word to all of you is drive defensively, no matter where you live. Whether it's here in the States or, over in the UK, or overseas somewhere, drive defensively all the time. It will save your life. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. And I'm so thankful to the good Lord for giving me enough sense to remember those things that my father taught me 1975, 1976, many, many moons ago, as he would have said. And I know he and my mom are smiling in heaven because I listened and I paid attention. And that's the moral of the story. That's what I want to pass on to all you guys tonight. But we're here to talk about drones. Okay. Let's see, my friend. I'm gonna try to get that quote again. Okay, Terry Randall. Okay, Terry. No, I don't think you need remote ID for that, Terry. I would, that would be something I would check on the FAA website to check that out. I would also check with the Academy. AMA, the organization that handles model planes. I think that's how it would fall under your privy. The Academy of Model Aeronautics. Okay, Terry, check with the Academy of Model Aeronautics and go out to their website. They should be able to help you with that. My thinking is if the model planes do, because of communication protocols and everything, I think you would as well. But I would check into that. Okay. All right. Oh, you're welcome, Terry. Not a problem. Okay. We got a lot to talk about. Okay. Did you guys, and by the way, I'm going to ask a question to you guys. Okay. Terry, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad everybody's here tonight. We got a good crew. Ron Marcus will be joining me here in a little bit. But did you watch Drone Nation last night? Incredible show. Bob Dempsey is on the show. I love Bob. Bob was on the show. I know Bob's in the chat tonight. Great show last night. Bob is great. Absolutely love him. Okay. Love what he does with old farts and drones. Great guy. Enthusiastic about drones. Okay. I call him Captain Ray Kelly Jr. Okay. he has great enthusiasm about drones. And he loves my favorite sport. He loves hockey. Okay. Bob, you're near and dear to my heart, my friend. Okay. Hockey's where it's at, my friend. Football, that's another subject. Okay. Yes, I did watch the Steelers last night, and yes, they backdoored themselves into a win, and I won't even go there. Okay. All right. Enough of all that. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. There's a lot, and I'm going to say this, okay? What I highly recommend, Marcus did a video on remote ID, and I'm titling this remote ID delayed enforcement, and you guys need to watch his video. He does a great explanation of this. But I want to spend a few minutes on this, and then I also want to go over the DJI drones that have that. And I want to talk about the Air 3 specifically as well, too. I did talk about this last night on Drone Nation, but I want to make sure that you guys know about all this, okay? Let's go ahead and share my screen. This article, of course, all the articles that you see here, as always, are out on Bill of Drone Review Facebook page, or Facebook group. I'm sorry, I didn't get them out on the page today. All right. Ta-da, here we go. Drone remote ID enforcement delay is discretionary. What does that mean? Okay. And I'm going to pass. The FAA on Wednesday announced it was pushing back the compliance deadline for its drone remote ID rule by 6 months to March 16, 2024. Okay. Here's what's happening. Remote ID is a feature that enables a drone in flight to provide its identification and location information to other parties. All right. There are 3 ways drone pilots can meet the identification requirements of remote ID. Excuse me. By flying a standard remote ID drone that has broadcast capabilities built in. I'm sorry. By retrofitting the aircraft remote ID broadcast module and flying the drone only within visual line of sight, and by flying only at FAA-recognized identification areas that are sponsored by community-based organizations or educational institutions, such as the Academy of Model Aeronautics, okay? Initially, the FAA had mandated all drone pilots are required to register with the agency, including those who fly for recreation, business, or public safety, must operate their aircraft in accordance with remote ID rule by September 16, okay? Last few weeks, FAA has received significant public feedback regarding the rule, including inquiries about the compliance date and ability to obtain broadcast modules that would allow continued operation of existing drones. As of August 28th, there are 261,143 operators flying with a remote ID pilot certificate under 14 CFR Part 107 and 328.372 recreational 328,372 recreational flyers operating on the provisions of 49 USC 44809 who are not remote ID equipped. Naturally, not everyone has the bandwidth to purchase a new standard remote ID drone, okay? Further, operators who are waiting for drone manufacturers to drop firmware updates that would allow them to activate standard remote ID capabilities and make their aircraft compliant, meaning their drones would become compliant in the near future, but for the time being, they'd be forced to ground the fleet and bear financial losses if they use their flying cameras for commercial purposes, okay? There are several organizations in the U.S. that use drones for important welfare. Okay, we're going to move on here. I'm not going to read the whole article. As of August 18th, the FAA has approved only 412 applications for FRIAs. Another 1206 requests are yet to be reviewed, and more applications are pouring in every week. These are like airfields from Academy of Model Aeronautics, just to let you guys know that, okay? FAA has categorically said it would expect drone pilots to comply with the requirements of the rule as soon as possible. Noncompliance could still lead to enforcement action, but that would be at the agency's discretion, okay? Meaning a decision will be taken on a case-by-case basis, okay? Brendan Schulman, who I had on several years ago formerly from DJI. Fantastic, just incredible knowledge about this here. Explains it best when he says, one way you ought to think about it is this: if you can easily comply with the rules by updating your drone software, you ought to do it because there's no excuse for not complying. If you need to attach a module and none are available, you should be okay for a while longer, okay? You really kind of laid that out right here, all right? If such agency decided to exercise discretion, determining how to handle any apparent noncompliance, including exercising discretion not to take enforcement action, if appropriate, for any noncompliance that occurs on or before March 16, 2024, okay? All right. Basically what we're, and there is Mr. Marcus here. I've been busy chatting away. There you are, sir. How are you?
Good. Yeah.
I've been chatty Cathy here, just gabbing away,
giving them the lowdown.
But again,
first ID.
Lowdown on remote ID. And first thing I started off with was I told everybody to go watch your video because you did a great job explaining all of this. Okay.
Thank you, Bill. And
one of the things that I did want to mention here, okay, is I wanted to get, and I'm real thankful, they put out an article, Drone DJ put an article that's up to date, DJI drones with remote ID as of September 2023. And I want to go over this because I think it's important for everybody to know what's out there. Okay.
Bill, I haven't been able to find the Air 3 on the FAA website. I've searched for it. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm saying I couldn't find it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start off with this article first here, and it talks about the Mavic 2 and the Phantom 4. And it said DJI Mavic 2 Phantom 4 Pro users need not ground drone over remote ID.
Right.
And basically what the gist of this article, it's talking about, according to the timeline shared by the tech giant, remote ID firmware upgrade for the Mavic Air 2 might not drop until the end of this month. On the other hand, users of Mavic 2 Zoom, Mavic 2 Pro, and Phantom 4 Pro drone models may have to wait until the end of December for their firmware updates. Okay. Now, here's what I was talking about, and this is updated. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen again. I had to change that. Now this is a good article, and I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat because I want you guys to make sure that you have this. I think it's important, and you probably want to bookmark this article to know what's what.
Okay. When you go on the FAA's website, it's searchable, but what I'm not clear on is that search box entirely accurate. In other words, if you leave one little bit out or add one bit, does it sometimes not get the result that you want?
That's a good point, Marcus. That's a real good point here. Okay, now here we go with DJI drones with remote ID, and I want to DJI Air 3, and I talked about this last night on Drone Nation because actually during the show I went out, I registered my drone, and I went out and I looked. Now the instructions tell you to go to the About section on the Fly app, and they go down there and it says that there is a remote ID section. Well, there is not a remote ID section. Okay, what you need to do is the drone serial number is the remote ID number. Okay, and you plug that into the FAA database when you're registering your drone, and it'll work. You won't have any problem. I registered my drone, paid my $5, got my certificate. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I got all mine caught
up.
So
that's taken care of.
Yeah.
Well, you're a little bit busier than me with that. I only have one.
Well, I guess the point to make is, Bill, it's super easy. So it's not like excuse not to do it. It's
$5. It's super easy.
Well,
it takes.
If you've already registered, it's not even $5. You're just changing the instead of saying a standard, it's a standard remote. You're telling them that it's a standard remote ID drone. Is what I was trying to say.
Exactly. There. Okay. Here's the lineup: DJI Air 3, DJI Mavic 3 Pro, DJI Mavic 3 Pro Cine, DJI Inspire 3, DJI M350 RTK, DJI Air 2S, DJI Mavic 3, DJI Mavic 3 Classic, Mavic 3 Cine, Avata, Mini 3, Mini 3 Pro, Mavic 3 Enterprise, Mavic 3 Thermal, Mavic 3 Multispectral, Matrice 30, M30 dock version, Matrice 30 Thermal, M30T dock version, M300 RTK, Agris T40, and Agris T30. Okay, these are all the ones that DJI has listed as being compliant. And as Marcus said, you can go out to the FAA's website and be able to search out there. But bookmark this article. I would keep it handy just for grins and giggles because, I as much as I love our government, okay, a lot of times their websites leave a lot to be desired.
I see Ted Bowman is in the chat. I had lunch with him today, and we were talking about this very subject at lunch. And he's saying in the chat here, he just went home and got his all lined up already. So,
well, I'm going to welcome a visitor who I haven't seen in forever, Ian Jones from the UK. Ian, welcome. It is great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for popping in. We actually met Ian when he and his wife were on vacation in Florida a few years ago, and it was a great meeting, and it's great to see you. It is so nice. Glad you decided to pop in. Really appreciate that. Wish you safe travels and a great time, and thank you for stopping by. We appreciate that an awful lot. I do. Okay, so we got that. We got all that lined up here. Okay, so we're pretty good as far as remote ID is concerned. And again, please watch Marcus's video. He did a great job and went into good detail on explaining that. I can't say that enough. And also, if you guys didn't watch Drone Nation last night, shame on you. Go back and watch after Rotor Talk's over. Go back and watch Drone Nation. We had a great time last night. It was a blast. It's always fun when Bob Dempsey's on. I absolutely love Bob. It was a great time last night. It really was. All right. Yes, he did, John. He sure did.
The thing about when Koopy makes a remark, you never know if he's being serious or making
sarcastic.
So is that sarcasm, John, or are you just kidding, buddy? Thank you.
He's been doing real good on the sarcasm lately.
Yeah.
He's kind of dialed that in here. Okay.
I sent John an email just a few minutes ago. I had a company approach me with an FPV drone they wanted me to review, and I said that's not my thing, but I'll bet you John Koopy would do it. So hopefully they'll hook him up.
Well, that's awesome here. Okay. So, DJI Mini 3 firmware update. Okay, the Mini 3 had a firmware update, and let's go ahead and I thought I had that article up.
Funny you mentioned that. I flew the Mini 3 after Ted Bowman and I had lunch today. I went to the park and I showed that discovery that Ron found, the different.
Oh yeah,
it's there. It's really cool. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, did you do the firmware update for the Mini 3?
So it didn't ask for enough. Now, of course, now that I think about it, Bill, I wasn't connected to the internet. So I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure is the answer.
Okay.
Let me say this. I know I very recently had a firmware update for the controller for the DJI RC, not the drone.
Okay. And here's Mr. Ron Braun. Your timing is impeccable, sir. Okay. First of all,
good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, everybody out in the chat.
I go on record as president of Steeler Nation here that I was wrong. Okay, the Steelers won last night, but
it was dramatic fashion.
One of those wins that they backed into. They backed into that win, Ron. That was walking backwards and ooh, look what I fell into, kind of a thing. So yeah, we'll leave that there. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. So we are all set here, okay? Because today everybody received the email, okay, from DJI. All right, and guys, you talked about it last night, okay? Monday, it was Ron has ESP, okay?
No, Marcus predicted it. Marcus predicted.
Well,
Marcus.
Listen, I hate to tell you, I had some insider information, and so when I was saying Monday, I'm just going to leave it at that. I had some insider information,
some insider ESP type information. Okay,
yeah.
And it was the most anticipated unevent email that I've ever gotten in my
But
DJI
Bill, it's almost
life,
like DJ watches these shows, and they said, "Okay,
Boom.
we're
Put
gonna
the
show
hammer
Drone
down."
Nation or whatever. We're gonna put that thing out next Monday."
Yeah, it was like, okay, you are. Yeah, was just, it was too funny, because I'm checking my email. It's the middle of the morning. Okay, I don't know, between 9 and 10 this morning, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, I'm shaking my head.
Well, Bill, that's only about 12 hours after we got done talking about it.
Yeah,
The email pops out. I mean,
the
Steeler game was just barely got over, and the email was probably coming up.
Yeah, it was like the Steelers were barely finished with their unthrilling victory last night, and then we know then we get the big announcement here. Okay, Irrepressible Leakers even beat DJI in publishing its Mini 4 Pro teaser announcement. Okay, and they sure did. Okay, who was it? I think, was it Igor?
I think it started with Igor, but
and they're calling this Mini to the max.
Reposted some of
is their tagline on this? Yes, he did. Okay, now the prices, kind of want to go over this here. Pricing options will run 799 euros, $857 for a standard version, 999 euros or 1,068 for the drone and the RC2, and 1,129 euros and $1,211 for a Firmware combo, including the RC2. And I want to stop right there. What do you guys think regarding pricing on this?
Bill, did these DJI Mini drones used to cost $300-$400? What are you talking here? $1,129.
I get your sticker shock, Ron. I totally understand what you're saying, but I also kind of understand the flip side of that coin too, as to why DJI went the direction they did. They are turning it into, instead of a starter drone, they're making it a real professional drone, right?
That's a good point, Marcus. Last year they put the Pro moniker on it because they put obstacle avoidance and some of the quick shots on it, but it really didn't fit
Sneak preview.
But that really didn't fit the Pro moniker, really, because all they really did was give it features that other drones had 3-4 years before. But now, Bill and Marcus, now adding 360 obstacle avoidance and waypoints, now it really puts it into the real Pro category now, rather than, again, last year, they used the Pro name, but it really wasn't Pro yet. It was just sort of Pro from 3 years before that. So
I read an article, and I don't remember who wrote it, or a comment by somebody that said, basically they're turning the Mini 4 Pro into just a smaller version of the Air 3, which sounded like a pretty reasonable thing to say.
Right. And hopefully, Bill, they keep the standard DJI Mini 3 around at that budget price. I believe you could get it on sale sometimes below $400. I hope they keep that in line for people that just want a good flying mini drone.
Well, I'm going to say this here. All right. Lauren brought up a good point right there. I just put that on the screen.
And I agree. There's no question, right?
There is really no competition.
Put it back up again. I was talking and missed it.
In that space. Let me go ahead and bring that up here again.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I mean, the Nano Plus are still available for sale, guys.
So Ron, this guy is on sale, right? So seriously, all kidding aside, this is an amazing freaking drone, and it's on sale right now. What is the Fly More now, Ron? $899 or something like that,
or $879 or something like that. We see some amazing prices. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna throw a question at you guys now. Okay, now that I'm gonna say 99% sure what the feature set's gonna be, especially with, let's say, the enhanced obstacle avoidance and waypoints being added on here, which is a wonderful feature that you don't. This is the first time it's been on a mini drone. Is that going to sway a lot of people who were on the fence about not buying this drone to go ahead and buy it?
Well, I think, we talked about this a little bit. Enthusiasts like me, of course, right? However, point well taken. I still believe, though, that there's demand in Europe, the UK, and Canada for a professional grade sub 250 drone. And I really believe that's their market. And I think that's what they're shooting for.
Bill, can you highlight Lauren's last comment? It kind of refers to what Marcus is talking about here. About five comments up. No, yeah, there you go. Apparently, Lauren put a poll up in his group and is very little interest in the Mini 4 Pro, even his Canadian group.
Here's the thing, though. I have a theory, Ron, and I could be full of it, but I just think that when people are answering polls, I don't think they always answer honestly. And I'm always going to push you back towards what we saw in the Air 3. Virtually everybody said, "Oh no, I'm not buying that. It's, I've got the Air 2. What's this going to bring to the table?" And now, so many people, and I'm not just saying the people we know, but you look out there on YouTube, and there's so many people flying that Air 3 now. It's like, okay,
we'll see, and that's one of the things that I want to say, because I minored in data analysis in college. And one of the things that they talked about when you take a poll, okay, it is, it depends on, number one, how it's taken, because these are very unscientific polls that we take, okay? When we throw it out there, like I did on the community tab on my YouTube page, or out on Twitter, or out on a Facebook group page, these are very unscientific, okay? Because there's no, you can't really quantify who did it, how they did it. They may never have had a drone before. They're saying, are you going to buy one? No. It's like, and I have a tendency to agree with Marcus. I think people will more often than not say no for something like this versus a yes. So, is it a bellwether? Maybe. I don't know. But I would think at this point, and it depends on the size sampling. Okay. Like I had 50 people answer, which I thought was okay. It's a pretty decent one, but really, in order to get a real feel for something like this, you need 1,000 or more responses from something like that. Okay,
of course, you can't get 1,000 people to watch the stream, let alone vote in a poll.
Exactly. Okay, you want to find out and get a real good idea and a real good sense. Is this something that it really may be worthwhile? And especially now that these feature sets have been revealed, having the full obstacle avoidance and having waypoints. I know it may tip a lot of people over.
Did you guys see the big feature, though? It's going to have an LED on the bottom. Did you see that?
Did see that. Jasper Ellens put out a picture of that.
And DeMarco sent me a picture of, it looked like a 4LTE device dongle on the bottom. Right. Yeah.
We all want dongles on our drones.
Well, let me ask you, Bill, why does anybody need that? Well, I take that back. In the United States, because you'd have to get a waiver to use that, because you'd certainly be beyond visual line of sight. What on a mini drone, is that just another thing to make it a pro drone? Why would they do that?
Well, back to what you say, Marcus, maybe that's more intended for the European market or people not in the U.S. Maybe that's a feature that maybe won't even be turned on in the U.S. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be.
And we're looking at some pictures here. There's a picture of the box.
And Bill, do you have the picture too where Jasper even showed the ND filters, the wide angle lens, and something else?
Okay, there is. Okay, I'm going to bring that up. I have that here. Let me go ahead and switch.
Yeah, they even had accessories.
Yeah, I found it from Drone XL. I got that up here.
Marcus, I may buy if they put ND filters in the box. Otherwise, I'm staying.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, Koopy is making another point. Like he's saying, he goes, "Hey, it could be something for somebody that's upgrading from the Mini 2. They're going to want the latest and greatest, right? So
they're going to be the ones see the real sticker shock.
That's very true.
There's that wide angle lens.
Yeah. There's the wide angle lens, and there's the ND 16, 64, and 256.
There's your filters, yep.
And prop guards.
Oh, there's everybody's favorite, the prop guards. Now, Bill or Marcus, have we confirmed or not confirmed whether this has the same, not necessarily the same camera? I don't mean the hard specs, but does it look the same? In other words, I'm getting at where your old ND filters fit this.
I was wondering the same thing, Ron. When you were talking, I was having the same thought. I don't know,
because the pictures don't look like the we'll say the camera lens or just the front of the camera looks any different. Is that what you're seeing, guys?
Yeah, it really does look the same, Ron. So my thinking is these filters from the Mini 3 Pro will probably fit the Mini 4 Pro. That's just a shooting off the
what I'm hoping is
off my hip, wild guess.
That is the $1 million question,
I really
Marcus,
think so.
because Bill, you talk about upgrading. If people can use the batteries that they have on their Mini 3 Pro or Mini 3 in this drone, a lot of people will likely just order the standard kits for $799. They have the charging hub, the batteries. That will create a lot of extra sales but for DJI, they'll create a lot of sales in the package that makes them the least amount of profit. So I don't know if that's a win for them or not.
I think it is, Ron, because for example, I don't have my Mini 3 Pro, and let's say I do get a Mini 4 Pro, I already have the controller, all right, and let's say for grins and giggles, I had the Mini 3 Pro.
Well, you're gonna want the OcuSync 4 controller, so you're gonna want the controller.
Yeah, the 04. Yeah, right. So you're right on that score. What I'm saying is like the Air 3 controller, because it's all ready to go.
Yeah, because you just made a really good point, Bill, and I had that experience today flying the Mini 3 with the original DJI RC. After using the RC2 and then going back to this guy, this thing is so laggy and so man, the RC2 is heads and tails better than this.
Yeah, those antennas are like a night and day difference from one controller to the next.
It's the way the whole touch
the whole thing with OcuSync.
It's got a stronger processor in the controller itself, so it's a combination of things that make it a better controller.
Okay, Mini 4 Pro key features: ultralight 249 grams, 34 minutes of flight, different smart features, omnidirectional optical avoidance, true vertical shooting, 48 megapixel photo, HDR video, 4K 100 frames per second, 20-kilometer video transmission, focus track, waypoint flight, and hyperlapse. Okay,
and we're hoping the HDR video goes beyond 30 frames per second this time.
Yeah,
it was capped at 30 frames per second on the on the Mini 3 Pro.
Now there was a great article here, and I wanted to spend some time and I really. Hai does a great job on his website.
Well, I'm going to cut you off real. Maddie pointed out a big thing I saw today too, that somebody even saw night mode listed on one of the boxes for the Mini 4 Pro. That's another Pro feature from the big boys.
Okay, thank you, Maddie. That is a very good point.
Sorry to cut you off, Bill, but I thought that needed to be read.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you here.
Can I make one more quick point, Bill?
Go for it.
So just with regard to the difference between this drone and the Mini 4, another thing with regard to processing power, this guy is always, it seems like they've improved it with firmware, but it had problems with autofocus, particularly when shooting in 60 frames per second. Just like they improved the DJI RC with the RC2, hopefully the same thing with the drone. It'll be just a faster processor and be able to handle all of those intelligent flight modes and the autofocus on the camera and just do it smoother and better.
This is a really good article, and like I said, it's always out there. And there's several points here, and I think it's good to go over these. Image quality improvements. Mini 3 Pro offers impressive image quality. Mini 4 Pro is rumored to have improvements in color accuracy, dynamic range, frame rate, and possibly bit rate. Okay, for professional photographers and filmmakers, these upgrades can mean the difference between a shot that's great and one that's exceptional. Okay, number 2 here, transmission capabilities, which we've already talked about. The strength of a drone's transmission system is often overlooked, but it plays a vital role. The Mini 3 Pro utilizes DJI's reliable OcuSync 3. The Mini 4 Pro introduces the more advanced OcuSync 4, and we just talked about that. Now here, 4K at 100 frames per second advantage. High frame rates are a game changer in the world of videography. The ability to record in 4K at 100 frames per second offers flexibility in post-production, allowing for smoother slow motion shots. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Navigating with enhanced optical avoidance, which we've talked about. Safety and precision are paramount when flying a drone. The Mini 4 Pro steps up its game by incorporating a wide-angle obstacle avoidance camera, offering more comprehensive coverage than the Mini 3 Pro. And then the power of waypoints, repetitive tasks demand efficiency. The waypoints feature expected in the Mini 4 Pro caters to those who undertake repeated drone missions, okay? Expected APAS 5.0, Advanced Pilot Assistance System, is DJI's answer to smart navigation. When the Mini 3 Pro Sport was APAS 4.0, capable of real-time obstacle detection and avoidance, the Mini 4 Pro might take this up a notch with APAS 5.0. A future-proof controller. The Mini 4 Pro will be available with the DJI RC N2 or the DJI RC2. These controllers also work with the Air 3, and we expect going forward they will work with the DJI Mavic 4 as well whenever that drone is released, okay? Price implications. Upgrades come at a cost. Preliminary information suggests Mini 4 Pro will be pricier than its predecessor. However, with its release, the Mini 3 Pro might see discounts, presenting a more affordable option for those on a budget. Making the decision on the Mini 4 Pro, timing is everything. For the current Mini 3 Pro owners, selling now might maximize resale value, while prices are predicted to decrease post the Mini 4 Pro release. New entrants to the DJI Mini world without budget constraints would do well to wait for the Mini 4 Pro, ensuring that benefit from the latest tech offerings. Okay, well, that was a lot to digest, but it was really good. It was full of a lot of good things. Ron, I want to get your take on the 4K 100 frames per second. And Marcus, go ahead.
Oh, well, the only point that I wanted to make is, and I ran into it today flying this guy, when you're shooting in 60 frames per second, APAS does not work. And again, talking about that processor power, you got to have the processor power to do those kind of things. So hopefully this Mini 4 will have that. And then Lauren made a point in the chat here talking about how frame rate doesn't mean anything without bit rate. And if it goes into 60 frames per second, but has to lower the bit rate to do it, where are you gaining quality? So just a couple of good points there.
Right. This the Mini 3 was handicapped at some of the, in the 60 frame, in the faster frame rates or whatever. But, again, for a lot of users, shooting 60 frames is not something that happens all the time. So it's not something that affects I'm going to say the vast majority of flights. Yeah.
I would say, because I wouldn't use that. I mean, even let's say I was doing professional work. Okay. I wouldn't really see a need for using something like that. Just let's say I was doing, I do inspections.
You're doing real estate shots around a neighborhood. 60 frames isn't going to be of any use to you.
Yeah, it's not. It's that something like that's not going to help. Now, if I was, say, studying traffic patterns outside, at the intersections, that's a whole different kind of ballgame.
Or if you were trying to track Marcus's Corvette on a racetrack, you'd need all those frame rates.
Yeah. You need the highest frame rate you could get.
Well, so that's the point that you were making earlier, Bill, that you were asking Ron about 100 frames per second. Really, in a drone, you're always way up there. I was thinking those high frame rates for sports and things like that. What do you think, Ron?
Yeah, you need some kind of a action. I guess even if you were doing something like, say, I'm at the beach and I'm filming the waves coming in, maybe even the 100 frames would show well on the big ocean waves coming in. I mean, it's a it's one of those niche thing or whatever. It's something people like to talk about, but I bet you, like, if DJI did their research, like it's probably not even used 5% of the time or whatever in drone flight. So it's a nice spec to have on a sheet there. Like, it's like GoPro throwing in these high end numbers, but most people are going to use them. But it looks good on the spec sheet. And again, it'll be one person out there uses it like 95% of the time is important to that guy or gal.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ron. And I think what it is too, it's probably it looks good on paper, all right, but a lot of people aren't privy to a lot of the information. That's why they need to watch Drone Nation and Rotor Talk, to hear what people like Lauren has to say about that, because having someone with some knowledge behind something like that is going to make a world of difference. Because you look at it on paper and it looks good. It's like, okay, I was out there shopping, and just to let you guys know, I'm going to digress just for a second here. I was almost killed last week, and I paused, pulling through an intersection, and an older lady went through at about 50 miles an hour. I was the first light. Okay. So I've decided I'm going to get a Toyota Tundra. All right. I was going to get a tank, but none were available. All right. But that's like, you know, when you look at the spec sheet and you'll see something on there for like an accessory, but then in real life, you know, it's not exactly what it says on that paper. And I think that's the same thing here. I think it's kind of like a lead in, try to get, you know, eye candy, that kind of thing.
Henry Mills says better slow motion for the HUD frame rate. So he's exactly right. But I'm one of those people, I use a slow motion feature once a year. I mean, but some people use it all the time. So Marcus, how often do you hit that slow motion feature?
You know, that's the thing. Even on my action cameras, I don't use it. So yeah, now I'm going to make it argue with you guys on 60 frames per second. I love doing that because particularly then in a turn, in a yaw, God, it looks so much smoother. You know, you don't get that blur. Anyway, that's just that's just what it looks like to my eye. I understand everybody has different.
Right. And that's one thing. And not everybody makes a video like you, like an uncut video. Most people that chop the video up, they chop turns and stuff off anyway. So it doesn't mean anything that anybody chops their video up.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Mark, you fly more like an FPV flyer who flies in a continuous loop. You know, that has all the turns and stuff in there. So that's why it's important. You basically, you fly a camera drone like an FPV drone in many ways.
Yeah, because you see, it's like you said, the flight is uncut, right? It's not,
and you show all the turns and stuff like that. Where most people, they're not really unless the turns, for some particular reason, like there's some point of interest in that turn's not in there for somebody chopping the videos. Bill, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. That's fine. But, you know, and I think here, you know, when we get these, and we've said this before, and I've said this before, but I think it bears worth repeating. Okay, none of everything that we see out here that we see via Igor or Jasper Ellens or Cedalev, okay, this DJI knows that it's out there. Okay, they're the ones that, you know, through the back door and back channels gets this information out there. Okay, so this comes out there with their official blessing. All right. So you know what we're seeing here is the real deal. All right, you know, I want to kind of be a little. It's not muddy clear, but I want to be kind of clear on that because I think a lot of times people will say, "Well, I don't know if it's going to have waypoint." It says it on the box. Okay, you know, we're seeing things on boxes here, and you know, we know that this stuff is pretty much golden as far as that's concerned. All right. I got a question, not, you know, and I'm going to pose it in the chat to all because we got a great number of people in the chat tonight. Okay, based on the information you've been finding out about the Mini 4 Pro, have you changed your mind from not buying it to buying it? Just drop it in the comment section. Okay, if you guys thought, you know, well, you know, I'm thinking that the waypoints, that's a real kicker. That obstacle avoidance, that sounds great. You know. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger and hit the buy button. Have any of you changed your mind on that?
Yeah, and Bill, remember, like people coming from a Mini 1 or Mini 2 or some kind of Mini SE, you know, this drone makes a lot of sense. Where it's a tough decision is coming from a Mini 3 Pro, and also it's a tough decision if somebody just laid out the money for the Air 3 last month, because now they're going to get another drone. It's, I mean, probably not going to be as good as the Air 3. And they just
you better have a good 401k if you're going to be buying all these drones. Our good friend over here must have a great 401.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm just nuts about
That's all I gotta say, Marcus. I wish I hope my 401k is good.
Yeah. Hey,
my 401k is pretty good. So.
Okay, Bill. Your videos or your audio is cutting out a little bit on my end. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm hearing it cut too.
Yeah,
I'm getting a little freezing of frames with everything. So I don't know. Yeah. You know, we'll see. What I did was
you don't have the bit rate that you need like the Mini 4 Pro has.
Well, actually, what I've done is I think you guys know I had to return my laptop, and I'm getting a new laptop with a different hertz refresh rate, and I'm operating off my HP Spectre. It's a 13-inch. And what I did was I hooked the Ethernet cable up directly to it. So I'm figuring, you know, I'm going to get a real good connection here. But it's been laggy, and I don't know why. I can't explain that. I don't
Hey,
know.
we got some people in chat. Uncle Bill says nope to the Mini 4 Pro. Greg Pittman says he's interested. Rosie says yep. Dr. Ted's pondering. John Flying Fit Media, no. John K, not me. So it's a lot of it's not very many hard yeses out there.
Okay, let me ask you guys, and I'm just talking to you two, not the folks in the chat here, but I have never known either of you two guys not to buy the newest version of the DJI Mini drone. Could you possibly change on this one?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I just got that Air 3.
I'm going to say yes.
I just got that Air 3, so I mean, I don't know. Outside doing a review, I don't know when I'd ever fly a thing. I'm going into windy season here in the fall, and windy season is not good for mini drones, where the Air 3 doesn't care about the wind. So to me, it's a drone that won't get a lot of flight time.
Yeah.
Bill?
Well, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, I might. And because, the feature set, the waypoints and the 360 obstacle avoidance are kind of tripping me in that direction. Especially the waypoints. I really like the fact of being able to plan out a mission like that. It makes it so easy. If you're flying a repetitive flight all the time, it makes it so easy to do that. It really does. And I really, really like that feature.
I'd rather upgrade to the Pocket 3.
Well, the Pocket 3 is that I've already hit I've already hit the buy button yet, and I don't even see it. So if that tells you anything.
I said that because Scott and Dude's in the chat, I believe.
Well, I can tell you whatever options they have with it, buy. I'm done. Okay, they're no, I'm going to call it Fly More. Their extended package. I'm getting it. Okay, that's a done deal. Okay, that's my Christmas gift to myself
there
this year.
Go.
What do they call it, Ron? The creator kit, right?
The
creator
kit,
package.
Which of course, I mean, if they take that wireless mic away, I may not buy it.
That's a big deal to me. As Ron knows, that's a huge deal for me.
You saw in the chat where our good friend Richard, he's not going to buy it unless it has a fan in it.
Mark brings up a really good point here. Might have done if I didn't have the Mini.
Yeah.
Yeah, in other words, kind of like Koopy said, the Mini 2
and also too, a lot of people have said that they've just bought the Air.
Yeah, not everybody bought it. That's a good point. Not everybody got the Mini 3 Pro when it came out. A lot of people didn't get. A lot of people have only had their Mini 3 Pro like 6 months.
Yeah. I think people just bought the Air.
If you could scrape up the money, if you could scrape up the money to get the Mini 4 Pro Fly More kit or even the base thing, just hold it for a couple of months, scrape up another couple $100 and get the Air 3. That's my buying advice.
Hey, so Ron, say you got a good friend that already has the Air 3, but he just sold his Autel Evo Lite Plus. So he's got a war chest for the Mini 4.
This is a real hypothetical, right?
This is really this is super hypothetical.
Yeah. Does that hypothetical guy happen to be sitting on a Mini 3 Pro though?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Has a Mini 3 Pro already. Might live in a southern state. Would you upgrade to the Mini 4?
You mean where there's a lot of good flying weather in the fall?
Good flying weather all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that could influence me a little bit, unless this hypothetical guy has the Avata, which, that could probably take the place of flying a mini drone. Because, Sean Oliver has made a couple, what's Sean's channel's name? Sean Oz has made a couple good videos where he's put the Avata in Horizon study mode, and he can fly it like a camera drone then.
Right, yeah.
So I think this hypothetical guy, even if he says no, Marcus, I think the hypothetical guy, he could be influenced to go the way of the Mini 4 Pro.
Well, that hypothetical individual, I'll need to work on him. And by the way, he's a heck of a chef. He does pretty good chicken lollipops.
And he's also good at birthdays too.
He's good at birthdays. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But Bill, sorry, but let's return to regular scheduled programming, Bill.
Yeah.
Now
sorry.
back to our regularly scheduled program.
We went way too far to the weeds on that.
That was good.
Let's just put it this way. If you own the Mini 3 Pro and especially if you just got it in the last 6 months, it's going to be a real tough decision to upgrade to the Mini 4 Pro. It's going to be a tough decision. Now, if that's the only drone you own and you've never seen these features in another drone, that could be a reason to upgrade. But if you have other drones in your stable that have all these waypoints and all these features in them and whatever, then that may not be enough to get you to make that move.
Okay, so I'm going to play the flip side of that coin. So we talked about the Air 3. The Air 3, I had the Air 2S. The Air 2S is one of my all-time favorite drones. Still a fantastic drone today. Somebody buys that drone right now, they're going to have a great time with that product, and it's a lot of features. But I am so happy I got the Air 3. Everything just works better on the Air 3. It's not only does it have more features, it's faster, it's smoother. The DJI RC 2 works better, etc. I think it's going to be the same thing. The difference between the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro, I think it's going to be it's going to just be incrementally better on all fronts, and it's going to have those features that Bill was talking about on top of it. It's going to have the I was just complaining about the DJI RC, that we loved when it first came out, right? Well, now that we've seen the RC2, so this guy's going to have the RC2. I'm just saying those are the kind of things.
I mean, even if the Mini 4 Pro can match the Air 3 feature for feature, everything is 100% even. The only difference is they still won't get it flying like the Air 3. You go out in a gusty fall day, and it won't move around from point to point like the Air 3 will.
You're absolutely correct.
That's a good point, Ron. That really is. Well, see, for me down in Florida, as far as wind is concerned, wind really doesn't pick up for us, and we really don't get our quote-unquote winter, what I'll call our version of winter down here, until probably December, late December, January-ish. And, it gets into the 40s and 50s, and the wind does pick up a bit. But most of the time it's manageable. So in other words, I could fly a Mini 4 Pro. That would be fine. Usually only February gets kind of wonky as far as weather's concerned. So a lot of times it could dip down into the 30s, and we can get some pretty good wind chill down here. But for the most part, up through like March, we should
almost like Pittsburgh for a little while, huh?
Yeah. We should have some pretty good flying weather down here in Florida. Okay, so it's like, well, you know what, and I got to say this. Okay, we're kind of wrapping things up. I have a video out there, and I was talking about it last night. I called it an Air 3 stress test, where I did like 3 master shots and 2 hyperlapses, and just kind of stressing the battery and taking a look and seeing how it did. And you guys will take a look at it. But I've been hard pressed to release it because all the Mini 4 Pro talk. I'm just keeping it in the stable for a while. It's just going to kind of sit there. And one of the things that I do want to mention,
I don't worry too much, Bill, because again, there's a whole bunch of Air 3 owners that don't care about this mini drone.
Yep.
I agree with Ron. Actually,
that's a good point, and I'm probably gonna cut it loose this weekend and get it out there. But one of the things I wanted to mention is I know Drone Nation will be covering this live and in color on Monday, the 25th.
And Bill will be joining us at Monday morning, bright and early. We're putting on an extra a pot of coffee for. I think Johnny will probably be involved with that, and he'll probably be bringing the coffee.
Absolutely, and then we're going to do a post-analysis recap around noon that day. I've already got a it's already set up for noon there, and then of course we'll follow up on Rotor Talk on Tuesday. So it's going to be real interesting, and I think one of the things that I want to say before we kind of wrap things up here is, availability. I don't think we'll see it initially at Best Buy, because I think Best Buy really kind of lost some favor with DJI.
Weeks after the Air 3 came out, I still couldn't pick up any Best Buy near anywhere in my southern New Jersey without having to order it to the store ahead of time. They did not just carry
ordering it first
on the display. Yeah, they did not. They did not have in stock unless a special order. Yeah. So I believe you're right. But yet the GoPro Hero 12 was there on day one.
Exactly. Okay. Places like Adorama, B&H, Amazon, you'll see it there. Okay. There won't be any, especially like Adorama and B&H. Okay. They'll be there. Like for me, when I got mine from Adorama, the Air 3, it was there in 2 days.
Let me argue in favor of ordering from the mothership. At least in my situation, number one, they don't charge sales tax. And I know in some states they do. So
yeah, New Jersey, you can't order from anybody and not get sales tax. So yeah, that's a no help to New Jersey. And
yeah, well, I can say that it is in Idaho.
Yeah.
So, but you also get that 1% rebate from DJI. And when Bill ordered from B&H and I ordered from the mothership, we both got it in 2 days.
Yeah.
I got an Amazon 2 days, but I didn't order at launch, so I don't know what would happen.
For me,
hey, while Bill was previewing Drone Nation a little bit, Marcus, are you ready? Can you announce one of our guests on Drone Nation? Well, at least the nighttime show next Monday. Can we confirm that special guest?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he gave us an answer in the affirmative, Ron. So of course, yeah. I think he's in the chat.
Yeah, our great friend from up north.
Our friend from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, is going to be with us
next Monday night.
Lonnie Brown.
Well, Lonnie's coming too?
Maybe. You never know. Maybe. Lauren, are you going to bring Lonnie?
Lauren said goodnight also. He's probably
gone already.
Called it a quits for the evening here.
Okay.
He's gone already. So any final thoughts, guys?
One quick thing I want to say as a final thought, but we forgot to mention that the Mini 4 Pro looks like it has the legs have returned to the front of the drone, like the Mini 3 and the Mini 2, but the only drone not to have was the Mini 3 Pro. So those legs are back again, and that's one reason another hope for better transmission, that the antennas will be back there again rather than the arms. So that's not really the final thought. But the final thought is the countdown's still on, but we know what we're counting down to now.
That's right.
It's only 6 days away. It's almost 5 days away tomorrow. So just make if you don't know what you're going to do about upgrading, just wait until that day comes. The big influencer will have all their videos out. You can watch the flight footage. You can compare it. You can do all that stuff, and then you can make maybe a more informed decision once you see all the big channels review it. Marcus?
Yeah. So I just get really nothing too terribly important, but I was going to ask you guys. I went ahead and registered my Mini 3 as a remote ID drone because I use that extended battery.
Oh,
what are you guys' thoughts? If you ordered the Mini 4, would you just get the standard battery so you could avoid remote ID and registering it as an RID drone, or would you just go ahead and?
Well, what we don't know is, remember the Mini 3 Pro, you could order 2 different Firmware combos, and one of them had the extended batteries and one of them had the regular batteries. But so far, I don't see that as an option for the Mini 4 Pro.
Yeah, we probably won't know until that morning. But the question is, are you guys worried about whether you register your mini drone as a remote?
Yeah, not at all. And my fear would be if I got the regular batteries with all these new features like waypoints and all this stuff, will we lose a few minutes off the flight time?
That's possible.
With all the bells and whistles. Yeah. We may need that extended battery.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to short flights again, Marcus.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, guys.
That was my final thought.
Yeah. Okay. It's all good. It looks like even though I say it may not upgrade, it still looks like a great drone. I'm not telling you it's not a good drone. Marcus, can I say it? It may be the best mini drone Marcus Crawford has ever owned.
That could be. I can say that perfectly well with this guy. I flew this thing today and had more fun with it than a barrel full of monkeys. So if you've got a Mini 3 Pro and you love it and you don't want to update, more power to you.
That Mini 3 Pro is not going to be any less of a drone next Monday than it is now.
That is exactly right. Or even if you just want to buy a really great mini drone, the Mini 3 Pro is on sale right now.
Yeah, you want to save $50 or whatever. More than $50 now. Yeah. Save a couple $100.
Okay,
well, I agree. I agree
really
with you guys.
Final thought.
I agree, and that was a great thought, Ron. That really was. That was put so well. It's like the old thing that Dobo said. The best drone is the one that's already you got in your hand. All right, and if we're just trying, and I think one of the things what I want to close with is this. Okay, we're just trying to present everything out to you guys. Okay, we're not making your buying decisions for you. We just want to provide you with that information to be able to make a great decision that's best for you. Okay, we don't know what your finances are like. We don't know, is that something that you have been saving for and have the money? Whatever fits in for you guys, go ahead and do it, but feel confident in one thing. Okay, if you have the Mini 3 Pro, you have a great drone. If you're going to get the Mini 4 Pro, you have a great drone. If you have the Air 3, you have a great drone. Okay, you're gonna find something that's going to be right for you. Okay, and it has to fit you guys. Okay, we had a great show tonight, a great chat. Want to thank everybody. Really want to thank Ian Jones from the UK stopping by tonight. That was awesome.
Well,
really, he's here visiting in Florida and had a chance to meet him a few years back. Just a great guy. Just fantastic, and it's good to see him.
Come on back to Florida, Ian.
Yeah, he's here visiting. He flies here on vacation all the time, so that was a good thing. We're going to wrap things up. Be sure to watch us next Monday, probably around 9 in the morning.
It's going to be a Mini Drone Monday.
Mini Drone Monday, 9 a.m. on Monday, and then around noon we'll be back on, and then Drone Nation that night at 9 o'clock with
starring Lauren,
with that great man from up north. Okay, Lauren. So. And, it's going to be a great week. So you guys take care. And as always, guys, remember, it's a great day to fly.